super simple question. How did you get involved with print?
Okay, so I guess if I start right at the beginning of my career, I've always worked in marketing. I started my career, and for a large proportion of my career so far, I worked in the office products industry in the UK. And that industry is very much driven by print. Catalogues, direct mail, they're the key forms of marketing that industry uses. So I've always had an involvement in print, not necessarily from the technical side, but very much from how a marketeer can use print in the marketing mix. So that's many, many years ago. I started my career. The print industry, I came into only 4 years ago. So I'm a relative newbie, I'd like to say. But I came into Proco as it was, Precision Proco now, because I'd been a customer of Proco's for 15 years. So I had a great relationship with the team here at Proco, now Precision Proco. And I was really interested, I guess, and excited about how this business was taking print out to market, the work that they were doing with their customers, as I was myself, and how they were encouraging people to continue to see the relevance of print in marketing. So that's really how I got into it.
Super cool. So how did you get roped into Dscoop? How did you find out about us?
So obviously, or as many people will know, John Bailey, who's our COO here at Precision Proco Group, is heavily involved in Dscoop and has been from the early days. And of course, John talks with enthusiasm and passion about what Dscoop does. And we're involved as a business in what Dscoop does. And we learn and we use Dscoop as a tool to support our business. So coming into Precision Proco, I've always been aware of Dscoop, always been really, really interested in terms of what the organisation does and how it supports people like me in the industry. And as I've progressed through the business here, I've also seen the opportunity that there is for other people, not only within our business, but within other businesses, to, take advantage of those opportunities that Dscoop offer. So interestingly, a few months ago, there became some vacancies on the European board, and I was asked if I might be interested. Of course, I jumped at the chance to get involved. So whilst I'm very new to the European board, having only been on there for a month or so now, I'm delighted to have been able to start to get involved.
Well, it's really cool that you're engaged with Dscoop. I have a question. Just generally, how do you and your company approach your engagement with Dscoop and the community?
Absolutely. I think, particularly in the last couple of years, across the globe, we've had challenges with the COVID pandemic. And it's been interesting and exciting to see how Dscoop have adapted to enable lots of people across all organizations to become involved. I think we did some virtual events as Dscoop, and I know at Precision Proco specifically, we had the event streaming in all of our sites, in all of our meeting rooms, and lots of different people from across the organisation were able to get involved, probably more so than prior to COVID, to be fair. Interestingly, speaking to the team, being able to move forward with a combination of hybrid events and face-to-face events, I think is going to be really exciting and give us even more opportunity to reach more people within Dscoop organisations. And I think that's really important that we continue to do that.
What are you excited about during your tenure? What are you excited about doing and bringing to Dscoop?
I guess what I'm excited about bringing to Dscoop is the piece about how we can support Dscoop organisations and members of Dscoop to understand and work with their customers in terms of this message about keeping print relevant. As I said earlier, I come from a marketing background. I don't come from a technical print background. And I think what I can bring is that everyday language, that everyday accessibility of print. We have a really exciting saying in Precision Proco about making print easy to use and easy to choose. And I think that's something that across Dscoop, all organizations try to do. And I think from a marketing perspective and also from an employee engagement perspective, that's something that I can bring, I believe, to the European board, that philosophy.
Ah, I love that quote. Easy to use and easy to choose. That is a really cool way to put it. So you are in charge of marketing for an interesting company. And you've mentioned in the past that you have a dual role when it comes to marketing. You're not only marketing to prospective customers and current clients, but you're also marketing to employees internally. It seems important to you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So for us, a strong brand is built by a strong culture. And for me, culture isn't about writing words on a wall somewhere. Culture is actually about how we live, eat, and breathe what we do when we're in a business. So we have what we call the PPG mindset. And that's this piece about everybody turns up, switches on, and gets the job done. Yeah. And it's really about a feeling and a passion about the business and what we do. And that stemmed right the way from how we recruit all the way through to how we communicate, how we reward, and in our incentive schemes in the organization. So from a marketing perspective, I work really, really closely with our human resources teams to ensure that we develop our people program. And that includes things like, as I said earlier, rewards and recognition, personal development, and internal communications. Because a passionate employee is an employee who feels they're involved. A passionate employee who drives a strong culture is an employee who feels engaged in what the business is doing. So key to us is developing not only our employees from a personal perspective and a personal development perspective, but also ensuring that they feel that they are part of how the business moves forward. And that's key to my role, to ensure that people feel that.
Okay, you were a chocolate bar. Please explain.
I dressed up as a chocolate bar. So we recently launched with Tony's Chocolonely. So we're doing their personalized chocolate bar wrappers. So we had a launch day with that client probably 2 months ago now. And that really was all about theatre. Yeah. So we dressed the offices, we dressed the factories, we had giant chocolonely bars all over the place. We had chocolate walkways printed. We made it look like a chocolate factory, basically. And that was all about ensuring that our employees felt as passionate about that customer as we do. So everybody, whether they're wrapping the chocolate bars, whether they're printing the wrappers, whether they're writing the invoices, whether they're selling the concept, feel as passionately as everybody about that particular project. The client was delighted. I dressed up as a chocolate bar and ran around the factory, getting everybody engaged and excited about it. And it created a real buzz in the organization. And I think that's really important because you know what? It was fun and it brought some fun and some excitement into what we were doing for the day.
That's unbelievable. I didn't even see that. Now,
I'll send you some pictures, Chris.
that would be phenomenal. Thank you. Now, was there even a second thought in going that deep into that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was all about communication. It was all about letting people know within our organization that we're doing something different. Interestingly, and again, not a second thought, starting next week, we've got the World Cup. So we've got lots of exciting things happening next week. We've got a table football tournament that kicks off on Monday. Everybody's coming in their favourite football shirts on Monday. And we've got a daily prize draw that starts on Monday that runs all the way through to when the final of the World Cup is. So it's something that we continually do. It's really important that we continue to keep our teams really engaged, really excited, and wanting to come into work every day. Another saying that we have is, thank God it's Monday. We want people to go to bed on a Sunday night looking forward to a Monday. We want people to wake up on a Monday morning thinking, thank God we're going into work today. And that's, something that's really, really key to what I do.
But that starts from the top. I mean, you have to have a sense of that through. I mean, it has to be pervasive
Yeah.
from management through the entire organization. So you're obviously getting support from the top down.
Absolutely. So our board of directors, I think they feel like I feel about employee engagement. It's the core of the business. So yeah, I get lots and lots of support from John, from Gary. Those guys are really, really engaged themselves. They're really passionate about employee engagement. That was one of the reasons why I was so happy to be offered the role here. It's quite a unique organization in how seriously we take this, but actually we fundamentally believe that without the employees feeling the way they do, we wouldn't be the business that we are.
Do clients feel the culture? Do they get the fun-loving spirit that seems to emanate?
Yeah, I believe so. I think one of the things that I always find really exciting when we walk clients round, particularly I'm sat in the Sheffield site today. When we walk clients round the building, one of the things that they're most excited to see is our communications wall. So in our kitchens and our canteens, where the guys have breakout, we have communication walls. And on there, we share the leadership team's 90-day plans. So we share on there what our key priorities are as a business. And that's how open and transparent we are as an organisation with our employees. And I would say, 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, customers stop at that wall and are absolutely delighted to see how we are engaging with our employees. And that's so important to them too. And I think when employees feel engaged, when employees feel excited about where they are, they can't help but portray that to their customers when they're speaking to them.
What did you think about Precision Proco when you were a customer of Precision Proco?
I had a really strong relationship with the team here in Sheffield. It was Proco. I loved the way that Proco collaborated with me as a customer. So I never felt that my relationship was a transactional relationship. I always felt that it was so much more than that. One of the things that I always used to be delighted about was they were continually challenging me, asking me to think about how I could do things differently, challenging me to think differently about how I used my printed publications at the time. In fact, they were the people. I moved from litho print to digital print and started looking at personalization. So this is back in the day. It's quite a few years ago, but they challenged me to do that. And it wasn't just about the amount of money that I spent. It was about how I could do things better. It was about how I could impress my boss, quite frankly, at the time. So Proco enabled me to be able to go to my leadership team at the time and put new ideas into them. And that's something that I continue to see now in terms of how our sales team engage with our customers today. How can we make our customers better? That's always at the forefront of our minds.
You got me excited. I want to come over there when the next job opening happens.
More than welcome, Chris. More than welcome.
That's awesome. All right. Well, now I have the silly questions. Unless you have a serious one, Darren.
I did have a follow-up question about the chocolate day. Like, how badly did you ruin your dinner that night? Like, did you eat anything for dinner that night? I guess is my.
So according to Tony's Chocolate Only, you should never ever start eating chocolate before 11 a.m. in the morning.
11 a.m.
Because if you do that, you're done. Well, I was done by about 7:30 that morning, quite frankly. There's a huge risk when you have all this chocolate around you. But yeah, I had to go to the gym that night.
All right. First question here. C, M, Y, or K?
M.
Good. Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Nice one. Your most surprising talent?
Surprising. It's not surprising, but I ran a marathon this year, so I can run a little way.
Favorite vacation spot?
Mallorca.
Weirdest food you've ever eaten?
Octopus.
Very chewy.
Not nice.
My last one, and then, unless Darren has more, who would play you in a movie?
Wow. Who would play me in a movie? I'd say if she was younger, Meryl Streep.
Like
But
it.
she's a tad older than me. Yeah.
Way to shoot low, Helen.
I know. I would have also said, you know what? I'd have said Madonna years ago, but really not anymore. Crikey, no.
Right.
Awesome. All right, that's all I got. The book is closed.
Fabulous. Was that okay?
This was unbelievable.